What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Big Cool from Colossal Boxing Talk. Colossal Boxing Talk is associated with Three Kings Boxing under the movement umbrella, and I am back today with a live Google Hangout to discuss the upcoming huge fight between WBC heavyweight champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and dangerous contender King Kong Louis Ortiz. I got a special panel tonight. I got my boy 2K from the Prodigy of Boxing Talk, my boy Boxing Boomhauer from Four Corners Boxing Talk, my boy Malachi from Danger Zone Boxing Talk. So guys, unmute yourself and let's get ready to break this fight down, break this fight card down. First of all, how y'all doing today?
Doing good, man. We've been talking boxing for like what? This is gonna be like the third hour, second hour.
Man, I've been going since 9 o'clock, man. I'm about ready to talk about something else.
All right, man. Since we got my boy Malachi on the show for the first time, we're gonna start it off, man. How do you see? We're gonna talk about Andre Dirrell versus Jose Ukitage first. How do you see this fight playing out? Go ahead and give me your breakdown and your prediction.
You gotta unmute yourself, man.
You're on mute, Malachi. You're on mute. There you go.
Did you hear me, Malachi?
I'm super excited for this fight because of the way the last one ended. I think everybody ought to be. Depends on who makes the proper adjustments, because in the last fight, the fight was close. Only one judge had it a 3-round difference. Both fighters had their moments. In the round that Dirrell got KO'd in on a late hit, I thought he had actually won the round behind his jab that round.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Jose hit him with the harder punches, man, and I could see it that he was getting hurt because of his legs, man. It was showing in his legs that he was getting hurt by some of them punches, man. So if Dirrell hasn't figured out how to keep him off of him, man, and from landing some of them bombs, man, I don't know, because personally I thought, he could have been on his way to getting knocked out or losing the fight, or maybe a close fight last time, walk away with the W if he'd have won. I think I had him a couple rounds down, so he still had a chance to come back in that fight. But I don't know. I favor Jose, man. So that's just me personally.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start with we're gonna go next to Boxing's Boomhauer, since he disagrees. We discussed this before we went on air. He disagrees about the outcome of this fight. C-Bone, tell us why you disagree, and how do you see this fight playing out?
I just believe that we've already seen the best of Dirrell, in my opinion. We've seen his best, and what he's got left ain't enough. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that he absolutely can't win this fight. I think you're going to see more of what we saw in the first fight here. But if he would utilize some movement and create a little bit better angle, then he has a very good chance of winning this fight. But I just don't see him doing it. I don't.
Okay. How do you see it ended? Do you see it going to a decision or TKO?
No, I don't. I think he stops him.
What round?
Probably around 8 or 9.
Okay. 2K, man. We sat down. We discussed this with Andre about a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like he's very confident. He's linked up with Virgil Hunter, trainer of Andre Ward, and so many others. How do you see this fight playing out, man?
Yeah, I agree with both the guys on the panel that just gave their assessments. And to be honest with you, me picking Andre Dirrell, and I got to be honest with myself, it's really because I'm rooting for the guy. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the fight, the first Ukitage fight, Jose Ukitage was doing everything the way he should. He was countering Andre Dirrell whenever he tried to jab to the body. Ukitage did an excellent job of keeping his lead foot on the outside when Andre Dirrell was fighting southpaw the entire fight. And that's something that I told Andre. I said, yo, you can switch, but fighting southpaw did not work for you in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? You might want to switch that up, or, keep him guessing coming round 1 and 2 southpaw, coming round 3 and 4 orthodox, something. But fighting southpaw the whole fight, Uzcategui was easily able to counter you, over your jab and over your jab to the body. Also, Andre Durrell was putting his back up against the ropes too much. I told him that as well. You got to keep your fucking back off the ropes against a guy who's a boxer puncher, because once you're on the ropes, you're stuck there and you're now in range for him to get off. You see what I'm saying? And that's ultimately what led to him being knocked out. And in my opinion, he lost the first fight, dog. There shouldn't have been a disqualification. I felt that the punch landed right on the bell. And not only that, but Andre Durrell was completely knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? He was out for a good 11 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when he came out of his comatose state and started to kind of drag, and started to kind of, I mean, that's my man's, you know what I'm saying? That's my man's, but I gotta be real.
Yeah, we be real over here.
He came out his comatose state and started to drag on something that didn't really happen. And that's how it ended up being a disqualification. The same shit that he did against Arthur Abraham. He drugged that on, I feel. You know what I'm saying? So if that type of shit happens again, yes, I agree with C. He's going to get knocked out around the same time he got knocked out in the first fight, which was the 8th round. But if he's able to utilize movement, just what C said, I told him during the interview, you're going to have to provide angles consistently, not just after round 6. You're going to have to do it from round 1, because once you provided those angles, Uzcategui couldn't find you, right? He's also going to have to do a lot of the leading with the left hand. When he was doing that, Uzcategui had no answer for that. He landed that almost at will in the second half of the fight. So I think a lot of things with Andre, for me, he's going to have to make this a boring-ass fight. He can't sit in the pocket at all. If he does, he gets knocked out. He gets on the ropes, he gets knocked out. If he's not moving, he gets knocked out. He's going to have to move. Everything's going to have to be behind a jab. He's going to have to switch up his stance, and he's going to have to provide angles, man. It's just all of those things have to happen. And maybe it's a stretch. Again, just like the Deontay Wilder-Ortiz fight that we'll talk about later, I would have to hedge this. You know what I'm saying? Uzcategui by knockout. If it goes 12 rounds, I'll pick Andre Durrell. But I'm going solely off my heart here. I'm rooting for the guy. I hope he wins. I think Andre Durrell should have been champion a long time ago, especially when he was robbed against Carl Froch. So hopefully he gets this win, and I'm gonna pick him just based off of that. But my brain is telling me Uzcategui's gonna win this fight.
You know, man. Hey, I'm a big Andre Durrell fan. 2K know it. Everybody that know, definitely one of my favorite fighters. But I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm with C-Bone in this fight, in this prediction. I think it lasts a little longer than 8 rounds. I think that Andre probably will be winning the fight, and he gonna do something to fuck it up. I mean, he's gonna do something to fuck it up. It's gonna kind of remind me of the Abraham fight where he's up. He might get a fast start, dominating the fight, and then he gonna start to tire out, or he gonna get caught with something big, and then he gonna start to fucking wilt. I hope I'm wrong, because like 2K, I want to see the guy be successful. Somebody that skilled should have been a champion a long time ago, but you got to have it all together, man. When you're a fighter, you got to have it mentally, not just physically and skill wise. So I think Jose Uzcategui gonna catch him 10th round, clean KO, and it's gonna probably be the end of Andre Durrell as a top contender. But if I'm wrong. But
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too. But just seeing enough of him throughout his career, man, is always controversial. You know what I'm saying? It always seems to follow him. He came apart against Arthur Abraham when he was dominating that fight. You know what I'm saying? But like 2K said, man, he gotta make this ugly. Kind of like when he fought Curtis Stevenson. Like I told y'all before we went on air, people not expecting much anyway of him, or they don't give a fuck about him no more. So hell, boring, ugly performance won't do nothing to your stock. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you win, you still be in prime position to face the winner of Truex, the Gale rematch. So you had that in your favor. So do what you got to do to get the victory, but stay off the rope, stay moving. Give different looks. Be aggressive, be confident, and do something that your good pal Andre Ward said, man. Don't be afraid of that power. Don't get reckless, but you got to get close enough to let your shots, get off. because you got to have that mentality at 34 years old, man. It's do or die. So if you get knocked out, at least get knocked out, in a brave type of performance where people can respect it. You know what I'm saying? So
even if he wins a boring fight, it still helps him slightly his stock. Okay. Because he's literally plummeting. I mean, he's not even ranked by any of the 4 major sanctioning bodies right now. Even though he's the interim IBF champion, they don't even have him. They have the top 2 spots vacant in his own fucking sanctioning body that he's an interim title holder in. You know what I'm saying? He's not ranked at all. So his stock is at 0 right now. So even if he wins a fucking boring fight, that'll put his stock at like 2.
Exactly. And like I said, he's still right there for the, he next man up for that IBF, super middleweight strap. So he got a lot on the line. Jose Ugatage got a lot on the line too. Because if he loses, man, Ugatage, he might not be as fortunate as Darrell, to get another shot at a title without having to really earn it. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I got Ugatage 10th round KO. So it's 2-2, man. We split on how this fight is gonna go, but on to the fight, man. We're not even gonna waste time. We're not gonna bullshit y'all, man. We're talking about the fight that everybody is excited for. Everybody can't wait for Saturday night.
Sergey Kovalev versus Igor.
No,
that's right.
Hey, that's a prodigy of the boxing talk special right there. If you want to hear,
Kings will have a man ringside.
Yep. And Four Corners Boxing Talk special right there. If you want to, watch a video, a quick 10-second video on why, Sergey gonna win, just go to them channels, man. We talking about WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder versus the dangerous contender, man, Luis Ortiz. Who want to start with this, man? Malachi, you want to go before these 2 long-winded motherfuckers get going, or you want to let them go?
No, I got it.
Okay, go ahead, man. First of all, give me your keys to victory. Give me your keys for each guy, and then go to your breakdown and prediction.
I think key for Wilder is he's got to have, at some point in every pugilist career, there comes a fight where he can't win it on pure athleticism. He can't win it on pure power. I think that in this fight, the biggest key for me for Wilder, he's got to prove that he's a thinking man's pugilist to beat Luis Ortiz, who I believe is the most skilled heavyweight today and has been for a while, been ducked. And then he fails, 2 drug tests, which gave an excuse for the cats who are already ducking him to continue to duck him. I give mad props to Wilder for taking this fight. I don't think people are giving him enough props for this because it's dangerous. I honestly believe that Luis Ortiz is going to be the next WBC champion. I'm taking King Kong. I believe that if he beats Wilder, he'll go on and he'll beat Anthony Joshua and he'll unify the titles.
Okay. Talk about looking forward. I definitely can see that, man. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal my prediction, because y'all will watch the video whenever. But I did, and like I said, man, maybe this is me rooting for Wilder, but he also has that power to kind of back up, a crazy, prediction. You know what I'm saying?
He really does, and he is getting better with setting up his right hand with his jab. However, I believe it's going to take more than a quality 1-2 to beat a pugilist of the stature of Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny you say that because in my breakdown video, I said that Wilder needs to be more offensively versatile. That means he can't just be a simple 1-2 puncher. He needs to incorporate the left hook. Try to bring that. He's going to have to win the foot placement battle. First of all, he's going to have
good luck with that. That's not happening.
Good luck, but I mean, this is one thing
that pop himself. People forget that Ortiz got some pop himself.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah,
definitely. But
yes, does.
Wilder's going to have to win that foot placement battle. He's going to have to keep that left foot on the outside of Ortiz's right foot. Not saying that he can or can't. Of course, it's highly unlikely, but we have to see. You know what I'm saying? Just what I'm telling you. He has to, you know what I'm saying? If he can,
that's that Alabama bias. That's that Bama bias.
No, I ain't saying he will do it. He has to do it. He has to, win that foot placement battle. to keep Ortiz, circle him to his right where he can line him up for that right hand. But the left hook needs to be incorporated in this fight, if ever. You know what I'm saying? He started to throw it more, Duhafis, Gerald Washington, you know what I'm saying? Stavern rematch. He's going to have to let that punch go to be more effective, give, Ortiz something else to think about. Because if that left hook is anything close to powerful as the right hand, that bodes well for him as well because it gives Ortiz something else to think about. But Ortiz is definitely a far more superior fighter, man. But I'm just going to take my prediction. This is for y'all to break down. I got Wilder KO 7 round because as much as we talk about, Ortiz being the best fighter that Wilder has ever fought in his professional career, Wilder is the strongest puncher that Ortiz has ever fought in his professional career. So we're gonna see which advantage plays out, for who. So C-Bone, man, go ahead and take this. What do you think,
man?
Keys to victory.
Keys to victory is going to be even though the Ortiz holds a 1-inch reach advantage, he wants to be able to smell Deontay's Wilder's breath most of his fight.
Yep.
Okay. Now he's going to want to fight close. Okay. Now, if I was training him, one thing I would really harp on would be a feint with a step back and let Wilder step into a left hand because it can happen pretty easily with the foot placement. Wilder's not going to win that foot placement battle, my man. It's not happening. He's not all of a sudden just become a fucking superior boxer. This ain't happening. All right. Now, I would really preach that if I was in his corner. Also, there's a couple other things you could do against Wilder. If you're a southpaw, like take a half step toward 2 o'clock and rip to the body. He's wide open for that, man. He's wide open for it. But that being said, I could go through here and everything on paper tells me Luis Ortiz wins this fight. I think you're going to see a Wilder. You said something about using more punches, a little better diversity in punches. I think you'll maybe see an uppercut come into play here. It would be a handy punch to have here. It really would. An uppercut would be a very handy punch for him to have here, although we haven't really seen much of one. His keys is going to be establish that jab. All right, establish that jab. Keep Ortiz from being on the front foot. If he allows Ortiz to be on the front foot, he creates problems. That can create Wilder a little bit more problems than what he's ready for because, like we said, he's just a lot more advanced when it comes to pure skill than what Deontay Wilder is. All that being said, I'm taking Deontay Wilder by knockout.
What round?
I don't think the fight goes 8 rounds.
Whew. See, before I let 2K take it, it's like y'all watched the video because I said that Ortiz needs to be, be able to counter and, get close to rip those shots because, in my opinion, he's one of the best inside fighters, at least in the heavyweight division. Because if you go back to his fight with Brian Jennings, he tore Brian Jennings' ass up on the inside. I mean, he ripped shots, uppercuts, and one thing Wilder doesn't need to do that he did against Arthur Spilker, another southpaw, he needs to fight tall. In that fight, he looked like he was 6'4", 6'5" in that fight. Squatting down. That spells disaster for him if he does that against Ortiz because Ortiz is quick enough with that straight left hand that could, get there quick enough and shock Wilder, and Wilder could be, in for a long night. So he needs to, like you said, fight behind the jab, fight tall, fight like a 6'7" guy. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it easier than it already is, for Ortiz.
He's going to have to move to his left. Deontay needs to be moving to his left.
Yep, he needs to stay out of the. He don't need to move to the right at all, or he's going to set himself up for.
And that's why Ortiz. I said if I'm Ortiz, I take the half step toward 2 o'clock. If I'm the fighter, I'm at 6 o'clock. The opponent's at 12 o'clock. I take a half step toward 2 o'clock and rip to the body, and that prevents that a little bit eliminates some of that movement to the left of Wilder. But I take Deontay to win this fight, but I think the athleticism. I just don't see Ortiz dodging the punch long enough.
Well, here come the different man. Here come 2K man. I know he about to really break it down and tell us why that was all regretting our pick in a minute. Go ahead, 2K.
He's gonna probably say about the same thing I am.
It is shocking me, man.
We're literally along the same lines. The number I'm gonna throw at y'all is 368. And that is the number of amateur bouts Luis Ortiz had. You know what I'm saying? Very, very major amateur pedigree. He's fought a lot of cats in the amateur ranks, guys that can hit very hard. Luis Ortiz, I agree with Malachi 100%, is the most gifted heavyweight in the division.
Absolutely.
And that includes the other two champions in the division, right? Luis Ortiz has never shown a situation in the ring. Granted, he has never fought. Well, I take that back. I was going to say he hasn't fought anybody whom we can say is a high-level heavyweight, but that's not true. He did beat Bryant Jennings when Bryant Jennings was still considered a respectable contender. He had only lost to Vladimir Klitschko at that time, and he made a hell of an account of himself in that fight.
He called Tony Thompson. I don't know how you look. Tony Thompson.
Well, Tony Thompson, I don't count that shit. That motherfucker was like 77 years old at that time.
Older than Bo, huh?
Yeah, he older than Bo. He well past his prime. He wasn't really that good in my opinion anyway. But you know, he fought Brian Jennings. That's a good win. But the thing is, we've never seen him in any fight show that he's been hurt. He's been hit, and this is the heavyweight division. The majority of guys have power, right? It only usually takes one punch in the heavyweight division to change a fight. We've never seen any of that shit. But this is the difference here. The right hand of Deontay Wilder is like nobody else's right hand in the division. Nobody else has that kind of crack in that right hand, not even Anthony Joshua, that Deontay Wilder has. So we can break this fight down all the way to the fucking white meat, right? Until you see bones hanging out the flesh. But the thing is, what the big elephant in the room is always going to be, no matter how hard or how deep I break this shit down, can Luis Ortiz take a straight right hand flush from Deontay Wilder? Because it's going to land. It's going to land. This is boxing. This motherfucker's not going to not get hit, if you can catch the negation I just put in there. He's not going to not get hit by a straight right hand. It's going to happen. Now, whether he rolls with it, whether he's able to take a little bit of steam off of it with this movement, that's either here nor there. But the right hand will get there, right? Deontay Wilder is 3 inches taller, but he is giving up a 1 inch reach disadvantage to Luis Ortiz. But the way Deontay Wilder fights, and he's so fucking tall, he's still going to have the outside advantage. Exactly. And that's why I agree with C on that point, and Big Cool in his prediction video that I have not seen yet, but I already know he said the same shit. Luis Ortiz is going to have to get inside the jab. Now,
which you can.
Oh, nigga, Eric Molina did it.
Yeah.
Johan Duhaupas did it. Right? Yeah. You know, Gerald Washington out-jabbed him for 4 rounds, right? These are guys that are nowhere near the skill level of a Luis Ortiz. So I believe he absolutely.
Man. I ain't mean to cut you.
Yeah,
I watch my video, bro. Because
I swear I ain't watched it yet. That's just how it is, man. And I mean, we're all knowledgeable guys. We know what the fuck we're talking about, so we're gonna cross lines a lot of times. But he would definitely be able to get on the inside of this guy because Deontay Wilder doesn't have the inside defense to keep him from out of there.
Exactly.
If he throws the jab, Luis Ortiz slips, which he will because he has superior footwork as well in the heavyweight division. He will slip the jab very simply. What is Deontay Wilder going to do on the inside? The only thing Wilder can do is throw an uppercut on the inside. If you watch him, that's all he has. He may hit Luis Ortiz a couple of times, but Luis Ortiz is going to adjust to that eventually if he's not knocked out by it, right? Which it took him 8 rounds to knock out Artur Spilka with that same punch, right? And Artur Spilka was beating that ass. I had that fight a draw at the time of the knockout. So I'm telling you, man, on paper, and see, I know why C is laughing.
Oh shit.
On paper, man, it is like Luis Ortiz should dominate. He should dominate, right?
Yep.
He should dominate. But just the big elephant in the room, man. The straight right hand. We just can't get around that. So for the sake of of being a boxing expert. We all are, but in this situation of me breaking it down, I'm gonna say Luis Ortiz wins by decision. But I'm gonna hedge that motherfucker with Deontay Wilder by knockout. If anybody gets knocked out, it will be Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's the pick I want to make too. Actually, if it goes the distance, I'm taking Ortiz. If it don't, we going with Wilder.
Hey, let me ask y'all something though. We all talk about the power of Wilder, which is, of course, the talking point. We know he can punch, but what about his ability to take Ortiz's punch?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a good question.
You're absolutely right. Yeah,
and like I said, if he can get established, if Ortiz can get him to fall for a feint and step back, he'll step right into that left hand.
Like Paul Williams,
yes, sir.
Williams versus Sergio Martinez.
Yes, sir.
He'll step right into that left hand. Yes, now, I just that's the question mark. We don't know the answer to for sure.
So, but what for all Wilder confident, he's beating his chest. I watched the clip of his interview after his media day workout. And they asked him what he has to do to be successful and beat Ortiz. First thing he said was he had to fight smart. So he knows that if he gets reckless, it can be night for him. So that tells me that he's at least going to attempt to do something other than just bomb rush him, which I would advise against doing. So he has an idea that he can't get caught slipping.
That statement can only go so far as to how well his brain is able to articulate what fighting smart really is. You know what I'm saying?
For him, I think exactly. For him, I think his definition would be, well, how I fought against Berman Stavern, in the first fight. I think that's his definition of, fighting smart.
Yeah.
And
that fight don't win. That fight don't win this fight.
No. The only reason why he got out of that fight is because Bermain Stavern is like a parked car.
Exactly.
He does not move.
With flat fucking tires.
Yeah, but
parked car with flat tires, and somebody stole 2 of the fucking rims. It ain't going nowhere.
They stole 3 of them in the rematch. He came rolling that one tire. It was, flattened in the first round. But like I said, man, this is shit, man. Like I said, I want Wilder to win just because the Bama connection. But
we know, Alabama.
But that motherfucker Ortiz scary, man.
This is a fight I can't wait to see. I've been asking for this fight probably about 3 years now. I really wanted Deontay Wilder, Jennings, and then when Luis Ortiz whooped his ass, I was like, oh well, shit. Let me see that fight. I want to see that fight now, and we're finally getting it. Look, this is one of them fights where everybody's gonna have to be quiet in my crib. No talking. You know what I'm saying? No talking.
I think we all gonna be standing up in front of the TV watching this fight.
For the magnitude of how big this fight is has been pretty bad in my estimation because
it's terrible.
I'm a member of a lot of different mixed martial arts groups, and a lot of them cats follow boxing too, man. And dude said it the other day in there that the promotion for this fight, he watches MMA, he's a casual fan, but when he found out the fight was happening, he was mad excited. But I just don't think, that's something that kills boxing is we don't promote the right fights all the time, man. And this fight ought to be a fight that was promoted, it should have been promoted the hell out of.
Exactly. Totally agree with you.
Did a terrible job.
You know how this is crazy analysis, but you know how
guys, this is your promoter of the year in action.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm about
point. I forgot about that.
What I'm about to say is a crazy analysis, but back in the day, 2K, Malachi, C-Bone were up and coming hip hop artists. They put the visuals out with their songs and shit, right? To kind of draw more attention to them. You know what I'm saying? They hit you with the videos and it was always in your face. You're like, oh, who is this dude? Okay, that's how boxing promoters used to be. Now it's like shit. I got to search YouTube. I got to check Twitter, Instagram just to see what these cats up to instead of just it's being forced in your face. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
things have definitely changed, man. Lazy promotion, you know, and you wonder why the numbers you get are shitty. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? You know what, man? Not to shit on the American fan base. I really don't give a fuck. I'm not one of those guys that aligns myself with the American fan base or any other fucking fan base, man. You know what I'm saying? I consider everybody within the movement umbrella in a league of their own. You know what I'm saying? But Eddie Hearn was right. A fight of this magnitude, Deontay Wilder, his name should be all over the fucking place right now. We got this is the fucking WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And some of that has something to do with how American fans don't really back their in-house fighters the way they should. Of course, that has something to do with it. But at the same time, his management team is not doing their fucking job. And I've been saying
because he's one of the most, charismatic, champions and fighters that that there is. You listen to him talk, you like this motherfucker. If you listen to him talk without seeing him fight, you would think this motherfucker was just the greatest thing to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. You know what I'm saying? So he can tell himself. You know what I'm saying? You be like, damn, this motherfucker is about to beat up everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with what you're saying. C-Bone, what was you about to say?
I was saying we talking about the management deal. I mean, I totally agree. This motherfucker ought to be on commercials and everything.
Absolutely.
Boxes and had the Gatorade endorsements and.
You've got an American heavyweight champion that has literally knocked out everybody he's faced. Now I know he's got the one decision on his record, but he went back and knocked that guy out too. He's literally knocked out everybody he's faced. Everything that the fans supposedly asked for is there. Okay, but here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. We got a fight that's on Showtime, and it'll be lucky to do 1 million views.
It's crazy. I mean, but let's dive deep into that. Why can't Wilder get the support of,
Part of it is the fact that boxing's just not that big anymore.
Yeah.
Part of it is that.
Let me say the support from the hardcore boxing fan. Not the casuals. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's funny.
Go ahead.
That's funny you asked that question because I'm getting ready to post.
Yeah, we got an article about it.
Okay. Well, I'll get my answers then, man.
Yeah,
we got an article about it.
Yep. We got a part 1 and part 2 is about to come up.
Before we get out of here, do y'all want to touch on that Dimitri Bivol Sullivan Barrera fight?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can.
Go ahead, 2K. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I think Sullivan Barrera is in trouble, man. Dimitri Bivol is a pretty good fucking boxer. Not only is he a pretty good boxer, he's a smart one. He's not a dumb fighter. He's able to pick and choose his opportunities very well and exploits them equally well. Whereas Sullivan Barrera, he's a more athletic freak. He's not necessarily a smart fighter. You've seen that in his last couple of fights, man. Joe Smith, Shabransky. What was the last fight? I can't remember the guy's name.
Felix Valera.
Thank you. I knew it was a Latino guy. Yeah. I mean, he didn't look good in that fight, in my opinion, either. Valera actually had some pretty good moments. If he just knew how to box properly from the outside, he could have actually beat Barrera. But he relies too much on his athletics. I mean, it's literally there's a lot of guys in the sport throughout boxing history and currently who do this same thing. They rely more on their athleticism. But then you have guys that do it to a certain degree relative to how much of the IQ they actually use in the ring. And let's just say Barrera's ratio of athleticism to IQ, you know what I'm saying? There's a
little slanted, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. And that's putting it mildly, C-Bone. Yeah, I mean, it's this is going to be a situation where the smarter guy wins, literally, and I'm taking the vote.
As long as I think he stops him.
Okay.
Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah, I think he stops him. Barrera hasn't shown to have the best chin in the world, and he's got a bad habit of coming straight back, and that's going to cost him here.
Yeah.
And I think Bivol, watching some of his fights earlier, he's definitely a smart fighter, like 2K said. I like how
Yeah,
he's
he is.
always pumping that jab. He's always looking to use that jab in some variation, whether it's to the body, up top. He kind of come over, quick.
Bibble's actually a fairly athletic fighter himself.
Yeah, he got some good movement about him. He's definitely aggressive. I think he's tightened up a little bit from when he fought Felix. What's his name?
He
Varel?
fought Valera too.
Yeah. So he looked much better in recent fights. Even though he looked good in that fight too, he looked more polished. So I definitely
he's looking better and better each time out.
Yeah, he definitely very offensively minded, but still defensively responsible. So I like him as a fighter, and I agree. I think that Barrera is too hittable with a leaky chin. I see Bibble, just timing him, walking him down, beating the shit out of him, stopping him. 7th round, 8th round, retaining that title. Malachi, how you see this fight going?
I see this fight going the same way as all y'all do. I think the superior fighter is going to win this one. There's no real equalizer from Barrera in the fight that can make me think that he could overcome the fact that he's facing a superior opponent in skill, superior opponent in ring IQ, superior opponent when it comes to being defensively responsible. His opponent makes fewer mistakes in the ring, and there's no equalizer there for me to be like, well, that could give him some type of chance. So I'm just like all of y'all. I'm taking Bivol.
All right, man. Well, I hope you all that's watching enjoyed this video breakdown. Some of the most knowledgeable cats that watch boxing, around on any level. You know what I'm saying? Mainstream or different. You know what I'm saying? 2K, tell them where they can find you.
Of course, you can find me at the Project Boxing Talk, man. That's my main channel. Of course, we're on 3kingsboxing.com, 1/3 of the owners of that particular website. And of course, man, anything where the movement lies, man, you can catch my face on. I'm proud of these guys. I want to give a shout out to my man Malachi. I thank him for coming on. I want to get him on more future shows. Very knowledgeable cat. He's been on my show a few times in the past where we talked about a lot of the smaller fighters, smaller weight divisions. So we're going to try to get him out there.
Watch all 17.
Word up. So, yeah, man, you catch us anywhere you see the movement.
T-Bone or Boxing Boomhauer. Tell them where they can find you at.
Man, they can find me. They on Boxing Boomhauer on Twitter and Instagram, man. That's where I'm at. I'm the editor-in-chief over that dang old www.3kingsboxing.com too.
2 dots.
And you also find me on the Four Corners Boxing Talk Radio Show on blogtalkradio.com. You can find me anywhere there's a channel that's running something with the movement. I'm there. In and out, but I'm turning up to about 85-90% of them. So we're here, guys. If you want to follow me on Facebook, I'm out there. You can't miss it. Can't miss me. Everybody in these fucking boxing forums on social media knows who I am. Whether you go to Twitter or go over to Facebook, everybody knows who I am. So I'm pretty easy to find.
One of the best journalists, man, in the sport of boxing or just in sports period. Great guy, very knowledgeable, man. So definitely check him out. Check out 3kingsboxing.com. Subscribe to that. Forget boxing scene. Forget fight hype. Subscribe to 3kingsboxing.com for your latest and greatest with everything related to boxing. Malachi, man, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Danger Zone Boxing Talk on Facebook. My YouTube channel is called The Sports Junkies Fix. I do a little bit more than boxing on there. You can find me in Eastwick. Boxing Talk on Facebook, also Ring IQ, just wherever they're talking boxing or college football, you can find me. So hit me up.
Yes, sir. You already.
Oh, and I want to thank y'all, man, for having me on here tonight, man. It's an honor to be involved with this panel. So I appreciate it, and I definitely want to come on, and I want to have y'all on my channel as well. And it's, good to be under the movement umbrella. So I appreciate y'all.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Yeah, glad to have y'all on. Y'all already know y'all can catch Big Cool, man. This channel, CBT, Eastwick Boxing, Prodigy of Boxing Talk. I swear I'm gonna make an appearance on Four Corners Boxing Talk soon.
All you gotta do is call in, man. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, definitely gonna do that. Truth and Facts About Boxing. My boys Bo and Bernard. Eastwick Boxing again. My boy Willie the Kid. Eastwick Boxing UK. AC Aaron Cooper. Everybody Blake. All y'all cats, man. Too many of y'all to name, but shout out to everybody in the movement that's moving with us. Subscribe to each one of these channels, man. Until next time we are out. Peace.